What have you done, Rockstar? This DLC has to have a record amount of issues. Honestly, this was just supposed to be my review, but then it ended up being a rant video with the amount of issues there were. I hope this video doesn't overshadow how great the DLC is. Now, there's definitely something that completely baffles me. If you already have the drift tuning on, which a lot of people already know, you can no longer then customize the engine tuning, so you can't make it faster. You cannot change the transmission and not put a turbo on. So you'd think that this new drifting tune completely disregards like the tuning upgrades you had before the car, and it makes all the cars the same no matter what engine tune you had before, turbo, transmission, etc. But when I actually tested this, it was so much more different, and this is where the confusion started. I made sure I had no engine upgrades, I had no turbo before I put the drift tuning on, no transmission. So I could race my friend who also has a Remus, who did have an engine upgrade, turbo and transmission before his tuning upgrade. Now clearly Rockstar have deleted these modifications, so they must make no effect to these engine and tuning modifications. But the results are surprising. We had a race. Now remember, I'm sitting in the car that has no engine upgrades before the tune, and he's sitting in the car that had engine upgrades before the tune. Theoretically, this should make no difference in Rockstar's books, and also according to the stats in your garage, it should also make no difference. As you can see, both of our stats are the same after the tuning upgrade. Look, his screen's a bit more blurrier because he's that one laggy friend. We did the drag race on the bomb, so as soon as the bomb explodes, we go. He had a bit of a late start, and look, I thought it would be similar, and then he just whizzes past me. This is supposed to have no effect. Having engine upgrades is supposed to have no effect according to Rockstar. So you have to remove the drift tune for 50k, then put the engine upgrades on, then reapply the tuning. Just to make sure, I then raced my friend again, but we swapped cars. And with a better reaction time of mine, you can see how much I beat the non-upgraded version. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that. But I clearly wouldn't be baffled if this was the only issue. I then thought, you know, this is a drift car. I want to see how much the wheels spin, because obviously the faster vehicle is going to have more of a spin and more torque, and then it's going to slip for more longer. So I measured it. As you can see, quite a long number 11 for Zahir's car, and he had maximum engine upgrades, and his car was faster too. So I then got into my car, I placed his car where his number 11 ended, so I have a clear example. And then my car with no engine upgrades gets a longer number 11. And honestly, from then on, we spent like an hour just trying to figure this out. Like, what can it be? I then started changing the modifications on my car, thinking that might be the effect. Why is my number 11 longer than his number 11? I've got less power according to the drag race. And then at the end, the conclusion was, I'm still baffled. I'm still baffled, and I'm gonna have to do further testing on this in a later video. But as you can see, this is a very inconsistent layout for these drift tunes. I am not sure what to think, and I will have to do further testing. And let me know if you want to see a video on that. There's so many vehicle bugs in the game, like scrolling through the plates and your game freezing, putting on a costume and not being able to take it off, Rockstar leaving gang attacks in the locations of these new salvage yards, so you can't go inside whilst the gang attack is active. There being hidden modifications for some cars in some garages. Selling one of the cars you recovered with the tow truck actually gets rid of one of your car lift cars from the auto shop. And the example I'm showing in this video, where the game thinks you're driving so much faster than you actually are because of the vehicle torque with these cars and the tweaked vehicle speed. So clearly, I'm not doing the speeds it says I'm doing. But yeah, it seems like Rockstar have a lot of things to fix. Let's say you're a loyal GTA Online player. You love grinding, and you love grinding because it gives you vehicles, motorcycles, cars, apocalypse vehicles, and that's what life is about on GTA Online. Sometimes you may have to sell your vehicles because you don't have enough room. And don't worry, Rockstar has you covered. They're going to introduce a 100 car garage, not a 50 car garage this time, 100 cars, so you have plenty of space. But throughout that grinding you did not pay Rockstar anything. So this is the introduction of GTA Plus. You want more car space? You'll have to pay for it with real money, a subscription. Let's look at the new salvage yard business, because of course this is the main point of the new DLC. The DLC is called Chop Shop for a reason. So if you want to do any of the new Chop Shop missions, you do need to have a salvage yard. 2.7 million doesn't seem like a lot for a new business, but of course, like every other business, you got upgrades, because how else are Rockstar going to extract all the money from you? Now, getting trade rates is an amazing thing. I mean, it would have been better for this to be added near the start of the game. I would have saved millions by now, tens of millions. Every time you go into LSC, the price is just so much lower, and I don't think it's half. I think it's like quarter when you go into LSC, because I always pay $50 going in there. Here's me destroying my Amagio to see how much it will cost me to call it, and yeah, it's sliced in half the price. It makes this trade rate seem so reasonable, but if you don't play GTA a lot, you probably never reach 450,000 worth of repairs or more mutual claims to cover the cost of the trade rate. But funnily, that's the actual thing I enjoy. The rest, wow, the rest. We've got a tow truck, and the tow truck, if you want a clean version, you're gonna pay 1.1 million. Now, you're probably thinking, Hella, the rusty one, it doesn't look good. It's probably slower. You'll get the mission done quicker. No, it's just the look. It's just the look. And being a salvage yard, I rather have the rusty one now that I think of it. I went and bought the 1.1 million one, and then you realize they're the same speed. And when you realize the payouts on these, the payouts are horrendous. You don't need a tow truck to do the actual main missions. Even the main missions, the more and more in depth I get with this video, the more and more I'm getting annoyed. But I will go back to this. I just wanted to show you guys the price that you end up spending, and then I start ranting in my rant. I've got sub-rants of rants. But wall safe, like, I'm not gonna, you know, I hardly claim from my arcade or anything, so I'm not gonna add that anyway. 750,000. Then you've got staff, which I haven't fully utilized. That costs 625,000. There's what? A maximum of 2 years left in GTA 5. So whoever your staff is, they're getting paid 300k a year. But I bought that anyway, and I'm paying 4.9 million. Let's say you went for everything because, you know, you want the best of the best. 5.6 million. But then your thoughts are, Hella, you know, it's worth it because I want to grind and I want to do these missions, which is fair. Like, I love these missions. They're actually quite good and unique. But did you think you could just earn as much money as you wanted to recoup that big 5.6 million loss? You thought you could do that on your own time. Oh, you thought wrong. Because first of all, this tow truck, the one that we all got excited for, the one that currently doesn't have a hook on it for some reason, the one that I even thought, okay, maybe you're allowed to have a tow truck and you can have fun a bit on GTA Online. The one that people were also saying, Hella, that's a bit unreasonable. You could probably only use it in a mission. Well, those comments were correct. And Rockstar had to go a bit further than that. You can only pick up certain cars. So only the mission objective cars you can pick up. You can't even just mess around whilst doing the mission and just pick up any car. You can only pick up one car on the map. Rockstar don't even let me have a bit of fun on the side. You know, I just want to pick up my friend's car and tow it away. And then there are the main missions, which you do have 3 of them. And they're basically like mini heist. Really enjoyable, as I said, really fun to do them. You get about 1 million to do all 3 of these non-repeatable missions. But to do one, it will take you about 1 to 2 hours. Now let's put that in perspective. The arena one, the Hellfire one, will take me or cost me 2 hours of my time. And that's working time. Again, it's fun to do for your first time. But as I said in the intro, I think this is more of a spending DLC, not an earning DLC. Because 2 hours to get 340,000 is not worth it. You can just you can call Mutt on your phone in GTA and pay 60,000 to restock your acid lab. And do nothing, which is not the point of this. Of course, you want to have some fun and do missions. But you can earn more than this if you're selling the full lobby in 45 minutes. And then once you've done all 3 of the cars, you're hoping for a reset. You're hoping for all the 3 cars to change, some new fresh missions. Yeah, you'll get that in Rockstar's time, not your time, because Rockstar are going to drip feed missions. Just like the new car on the podium wheel, just like the weekly discounts and all those, you're going to get drip fed missions for a salvage yard you bought. Now, this is salvage yard missions that you paid for. So if people are just after earning money, then I would definitely not recommend buying the new salvage yard. But you probably want the trade rates, because that I definitely do recommend if you're buying the salvage yard. And that's the whole point. You have to buy the salvage yard to get the trade rates. The thing I find value in, which is the trade rates, I'll have to buy the whole salvage yard for. And you're spending a minimum of 2 to 3 million on a salvage yard just so you can get the trade rates. Then it becomes redundant. Like, what is the point now of the trade rates? There's 2 years left of GTA 5. What's the point having trade rates? Obviously, there's so many great things about this DLC. It depends on what way you look at it. If you're looking at this DLC to earn money and you're not really into the car scene, you're just a grinding type, then I think this DLC might disappoint a lot of you. But I love this DLC. They've got so many options, new options. You've got so many new features. You've got options like the vehicle organization, which has helped me so much. I use that, and as you can see in the video, I started organizing my garage from alphabetical order, which is not sustainable. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. There's animals in the game, which is obviously great now. Why didn't they add that earlier? There were so many more outrageous things that I wanted to add, like the stupid cop car price. Like, what? And the new Hellfire that's going to come, the Interceptor Hellfire, which costs 5.4 million. This is just, yeah, a spending DLC, not an earning DLC. And yeah, the biggest thing for me, I think I've highlighted it in so many videos, is the drifting element. The drifting element they've added is so different. We never thought that they would add something like this. And when it came out, now it's just endless fun of drifting. I don't get bored of it. Normally I get bored, my hand gets a bit tired from actually drifting, but this makes it so easy and so convenient. I'm not mad that I spent so many hours learning to drift and I was actually good at it before. I'm not mad that now everyone can just drift. Even I know when you try your best to come out with something, there's always going to be some negative comment. And in the grand scheme of things, these little bugs are nothing compared to how great this DLC is. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.